Could Liv Morgan find herself face-to-face with one of the biggest title threats to date? We'll also check out what's happening with Rhea Ripley, the Bloodline, and more. Starting things off with another popular Bloodline fan theory. So Roman Reigns is currently the big babyface that WWE always dreamed of him being. All of the fans are behind him, and he's finally the ultimate babyface of the company. However, even though his character perception has changed to the fans, it has not changed to WWE superstars, and even family members that he has negatively impacted over the last few years. Just because the fans love Roman now does not mean that all these people he's tortured over the last few years will suddenly forgive him now and greet him with a big hug. That's not how it goes. In those individuals' eyes, Roman is still very much the same monster heel that he's been over the last few years. That's why when Roman got taken out by the Bloodline a few weeks back, no one rushed out there to help Roman, and understandably so, because he's made nothing but enemies in the SmackDown locker room since his 2020 return. It makes absolute perfect sense for everyone backstage to look the other way when Roman is in desperate need of some help. But how can that change? How can Roman be on friendly terms again with the locker room and his old Bloodline members? Well, the only answer is that Roman needs to go on a redemption arc that includes him making the first move to save these enemies of his, and at least show them that he's a changed man. And this sort of idea makes the most sense in terms of Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens' relationship. Kevin Owens is easily one of the longest ongoing rivals the Bloodline has ever had. Kevin was fighting Roman in the Bloodline off the Thunderdome days, all the way till this past summer. So when you talk about big Roman Reigns enemies, especially over the last 4 years, Kevin Owens has to be at the top of the list. Kevin strongly dislikes Roman's character because of everything that they've been through over the last few years. Even recently on SmackDown, when Adam Pearce spoke about Roman getting another WWE title shot in front of Kevin Owens, we saw Kevin absolutely lose his mind and go on a big rant on how Roman is the least deserving. So that hatred from Kevin to Roman is very much still there, despite the both of them being babyface characters. So Kevin will be the perfect example for Roman to use and at least try to start his redemption arc on. Maybe Kevin Owens gets tangled up in another encounter with Solo Sikoa's Bloodline, and it's Roman who comes out and makes the save for Kevin Owens. Will that action from Roman instantly win over Kevin's heart? Probably not, but it will at least make Kevin Owens take a second to step back and process that Roman just saved him from the Bloodline, despite everything that they've been through over the last few years. It'll be a great start for Roman to redeem himself with Kevin Owens, while also serving as a sign to the Usos about how Roman has changed. And Roman could probably continue to do a similar thing in the weeks after that, just continue and try to save as many of those old foes as he can from Solo Sikoa and the Bloodline. And once he does that, maybe that makes the locker room start to come around again to see Roman is no longer the same man he was from 4 years ago. Maybe those actions from Roman is the early seeds that get planted in Jimmy and Jay's heads and make them feel like they have to link up again to fight off the new Bloodline. If the original Bloodline gets back together within this story, it'll be the first time that the three of them are together as babyfaces since 2019. Roman and the Usos were doing some babyface work together in 2019, but obviously it wasn't until their 2020 heel run that they absolutely became a top faction in WWE. So to see them return to their babyface state 5 years later would be something great to see. Another way for Roman to redeem himself is through heartfelt apologies. We're still yet to hear from Roman speaking since he returned at SummerSlam, so it'll be great to see where the character is at mentally in current day, and how he currently views his last few years as the tribal chief. Is Roman remorseful for his actions over the last few years? Does he think he might have went a bit overboard with some of the things he was doing at the time? Or does he stand by all those previous actions and views? We have to assume that Roman is a bit remorseful, but we won't know for sure until we hear him speak and interact with former original Bloodline members. So it'll be great to see how WWE continues to handle this redemption arc from Roman Reigns. Rhea Ripley recently got her own episode feature on WWE's Tattooed series, which takes a detailed look at every single small detail about a superstar's tattoos. One of the biggest tattoos that Rhea covered on her episode was a skull tattoo that she had on her leg. She said that she added a crown to the skull head right around WrestleMania 39 in 2023 because she knew she'd be taking Charlotte Flair's crown. And that's exactly what Rhea ended up doing, both literally and figuratively. Rhea defeated Charlotte for the title at WrestleMania 39 and would go on there to become arguably one of the biggest superstars in the entire industry, which is a position that Charlotte Flair previously held for the last few years. So Rhea came in there to take Charlotte's title and take her spot in the company. And that's why she got that crown added to her already existing tattoo. Charlotte Flair would end up seeing that clip from the tattoo episode and pointed out how she was just minding her own business and how Rhea Ripley has made Charlotte her topic again. This doesn't seem like any heavy actual jabs between both superstars. Charlotte was just celebrating backstage with Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania 40 just earlier this year. But it does sound like some friendly competition there with Charlotte Flair, no doubt, coming back to try and regain her spot from Rhea Ripley. Charlotte Flair is of course nursing a torn ACL at the moment, but she's getting extremely close to returning. That ACL injury took place on December 8th, 2023, so she's about to hit the average recovery time frame of 9 months. Reports have already claimed that a late fall 2024 return is most likely for Charlotte Flair. So it's not that far out at all. Chances are we can probably expect to see Charlotte sometime in October or November. The big question mark regarding her return, though, is what brand will be getting her? Charlotte was a SmackDown superstar last time we seen her, but you gotta remember that WWE has a tendency of keeping their top couples together on the same brand, and Charlotte's husband, Andrade, is on Raw. So that could be a small hint that Charlotte Flair has a real shot at joining the Raw roster for her return. And knowing Charlotte, there's a huge chance that she'll be eyeing the Women's World Championship once she's back. It's a new title she's never held, so it could be Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley, or even someone else. But whoever is the current champion once Charlotte returns will likely have to put that title on the line and answer to Charlotte. So that'll be a big match for whoever is champion at the time. A Charlotte versus Liv Morgan feud sounds like it could definitely work and be intriguing. Charlotte and Liv Morgan have met in the ring a few times over the last few years, but obviously Charlotte Flair has never stepped in the ring with this version of Liv Morgan that's champion, that's on top of her game more than ever, and has a whole faction behind her. So considering that Charlotte will have to overcome all those obstacles, it could make that matchup perfectly fair and balanced. An all-time great champion winner going up against a slimy, cowardly heel that'll use any tactic to win. It could make for a very entertaining matchup. So that's definitely a major return we could expect to see before the year comes to an end. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.